Ahri is the mid laner for Astral Infection. So much tankiness for GGL, but just not a lot of damage. Where is the damage on that team? This is the one concern that I have going into this game. Set has pretty damn good ultimate targets going into the team fights. I have to say, when it comes to the team fights and how the game is going to progress, you know, from the lane into the mid game, I really do like what GGL have put together. Obviously, you still have to execute on whatever it is that you have drafted, but everything, like when you look at the whole picture, it all just makes sense. Alright, we're heading on to the Rift. Astral Infection versus GGL. Both teams really hungry for this win. GGL, I think they are a 4-6 in the standings, if memory serves me correctly. They're trying to keep up with 5 Freaks who have been on an upward trend recently. As, you know, they are also trying to get to playoffs. That 6th seed is still up for grabs. In Astral Infection, they have been falling down the standings, and they really want to get back into the swing of things. This would be a very good time to do so versus an opponent like GGL. We're putting Hawksbill in the jungle. This was a position where he was just absolutely running the Rift in Season 10 with 5-minute break. He wants to replicate that success here. We'll have to see if we see the same kind of calm early game that we saw in Game 1 from Best in Slot and Ivengers. I think these two junglers in particular can be active in the early game, and they do like participating in skirmishes either. But if it comes to like the top lane 2v2, for example, I would favor GGL in those early stages of the game. Nice knockup from Westy. Actually targets both Clefairy and Ezzy. Procs of bone plating. Good trading from Big A. Actually takes full advantage of the level 2 timer. Spore did not have that yet and eats so much damage. And now the level 2 timer comes in for GGL on the bot lane as well. And that already forces out the flash from Clefairy. GGL just straight up diffing people in lanes right now. Ezzy taking extra damage there, but here comes the first gank from Hawksbill. The Facebreaker will target both Astral Infection members, but it won't matter one bit. Hawksbill, he puts all of his money on that top lane gank, and he makes it work. And he gets that kill for himself, because of course, why not? Now, Toxic Coffee is not really in a position to take full advantage of that because he started on the same side of the map as Hawksbill right here. Ooh, that that Haymaker would have been devastating if it actually landed in the middle portion. But Fonzie is unrelenting. He still wants that early game lead for himself. Cassante still has his teleport. Wally can just opt to teleport and fix this wave state that he's found himself in right now. I'm not sure why he hasn't decided to teleport. I feel like the longer he waits, the more he's going to lose. Like he wants to shove this wave in with the level lead, but now Fonzie, I feel like he's very eager to fight. Wally, does he want to keep this fight going? Oh, the Haymaker will actually whiff because of a knockback. So Wally, you know, he is playing on the edge right now, but he's keeping himself alive. and he wants to make this crash happen, but he's running out of mana. Bonzi once again gets hit with a grass proc, and that should be enough to actually dissuade him from fighting further. So yeah, Small Walrus actually makes good on his plan. He gets that wave crash going, but now we're going to see a 3v3 in the bot lane. GGL wants to kill at least the Tahm Kench, but they will be scared off by the bear. But I think they're still quite happy with where they're at right now when it comes to the state of the lane. Don't think there's much to be worried about. Ooh, so much damage from the blue gun from Oswald. You have to be wary of those optimal gun combos from Aphelios. Blue-purple is one of the notable ones. There's also stuff like white-green and white-red. Like the white gun combos is where Aphelios really comes alive in the teamfights as well. But blue-purple is definitely another one that deserves attention. Bonzi back to doing his own thing after what happened top lane. He died quite early in the lane. Ezzy, not really forced to use his flash. Westy opted for an exhaust just to finalize that kill, but it wasn't enough. Damage just wasn't there. Wally will now potentially opt for a level 6 fight versus Bonzi. That Haymaker did not really do a whole lot. All out for Cassante. Small Walrus just needs one more auto attack to finish off the job. And that is an early top lane lead for Astral Infection, something we didn't really expect. And Toxic Coffee now is going to be caught out doing the grubs by himself. Really haphazard play from GGL. Not really accounting for what could happen. And Astral Infection off to a great start in this game. I mean, Cassante winning this matchup in the early game is just really, really good news for a team. You would expect the set to be able to push Cassante around in these early stages when he has so much base damage. But yeah. Wally able to manipulate the wave quite well and also just do well in the micro parts as well. Okay, so even though GGL Warwick paid for his life for the grubs, but he did get all three, so it's not all bad. Oswald still wants to force the fights in the bot lane portion. But Tahm Kench is not going to go down that easily. He's already finished plated steel caps. Uh-oh. Hawksbill level 6. Red buff ticking. Bonzi slowed up. He has to flash the wall, but Hawksbill is going to follow with his ultimate, and Spore is here as well to follow up with her own abilities. Bonzi, I don't think he can get away. All it took was the Volibear flash, and it's another pick for Astral Infection. Can this be followed up with a dragon? Warwick is already there trying to take it for himself, but Astral Infection could be looking to interrupt. I mean, right now, they're more focused on the mid lane. They might actually be able to focus down Big A. And they do kill him in the end. DGL will get the dragon, but now they're in a spot where they could get pincered by Astral Infection. The Devourer comes in from Ezzy. He pulls in Clefairy for the fight, and now they're all joined in and ready to win once more. Toxic Coffee dies a second time this game. And it's just a chain of successful plays for Astral Infection. They are losing some of those neutral objectives, but we are pulling ahead. pullback from Wally on the Cassante. The Haymaker will come in. Fonzie decides to keep the fight going, but Wally at this point, he's just too powerful for Set to deal with. Cassante in the all-out form, once again able to kill the Set. And Wally is just... Wally's just pulling away in this top lane matchup. It's a top lane gap out there. Meanwhile, Big A once again getting ganked by Hawksbill. And he is angry. He is so mad. It's 8-0 on the scoreboard. Can GGL get at least one kill? No, it's going to be the flash from Clefairy. GGL denied once again. Hawksbill is already on the scene, ready to counter gank if GGL decided to move forward with the play. They have to pull back. Astral Infection are just winning every step of the way. This is the kind of domination that we've seen from Hawksbill when he was the jungler for not just 5 Minute Break, but also other teams that he's been on. And this feels like just more of the same as we enter another UNL season. Big A just cannot catch a break. The Volibear and Ahri combination is just absolutely putting in work. Orianna just cannot hope to have a safe laning phase. Cassante goes for another all-in, but it's a decent ultimate from Fonzie, which is going to pull Cassante under 50% HP. And that will diffuse the situation for a little bit. But now it's Astral Infection onto the Grubs. Toxic Coffee is here, but I don't know if they want to opt for this 2v2. Astral Infection actually... They decide to stay vigilant here. They don't want to commit everything they have onto this Grub fight. And Toxic Coffee is still around, but Spore is right behind the Volibear. The Charm does not come out from the Ahri. They will just focus down Hawksbill right here, and I feel like Spore could at least interrupt potentially the Warwick ult with the Charm. I don't know if she had it at the time, but it feels like there was just a little bit of hesitation there, and GGEL finally on the board and also securing all 6 Grubs in the process. So there is that one bit of positivity for Red Team at last. It's also Set that gets the kill. He will definitely need that here. He needs to be able to turn this matchup around. That was also a 300 gold bounty on Volibear's head. So even more gold going towards the Set. We'll have to see what happens next here, as the dragon will spawn very soon. And Astral Infection is in a very good spot to contest for it. They have mid lane push, they have the jungler close by. Volley's in a good spot. But Astral Infection have to be wary of the cross map. And they are trying to... Oh, what an interrupt from Walrus on that ultimate! He will make himself unstoppable, and now he just takes Set across the wall. Isolates the fight. Now Toxic Coffee is here to help his top laner, but he's losing the 1v1. He has to flash away. And now it's a 1v1 between the Set, but he cannot hope to win that. We're seeing the Cassante copy pasta unfold in real time. Wally is just doing whatever he damn pleases in the top lane. That interrupt on the Set ultimate was crucial. He would have been pulled straight into the tower, but he just W's at the right time and he denies that play completely. Oh, Clefairy caught unawares trying to clear a ward. And that is going to be a kill for Oswald, maybe even another, as Ezzy is falling dangerously low. Hawksbill is here to try and help his teammate. Can GGL keep the fight going? Volibear is so strong with additional items. He's not going to be stopped. That's extra 2 kills for Astral Infection. They win another skirmish, this time in the bot lane. DGL perhaps felt a little bit too confident after securing that first kill, and they decided to press the issue, but they immediately got punished. Volibear may have died once, but he's still so far ahead of the other jungler. Oh, what a charm from Spores. Big A forced to flash as well. So much happening that is favoring Astral Infection right now. Now we see Cassandra with an Iceborne Gauntlet completed. That is a very big spike. Especially in those matchups where he's facing a physical damage opponent. He's getting those extra resistances that matter a lot, but he's also, in those melee versus melee matchups, he's just making sure that the other guy just cannot escape if he's ever caught in a bad spot. Every Q is just going to slow for so long. Another engage coming in from Spore, but the Shockwave is pretty good damage in return. And Spore mostly just trying to feel Big A, make Big A feel pressure, but he's actually answering quite well. Toxic Coffee using his ultimate just to try and escape, but he's going to get caught in the CC chain. And there's no getting away from that. Astral Infection, now 15 kills on the scoreboard. It's completely running away with this game. Herald spawned onto the mid lane tier 2 turret. Volibear is going to take the taxi. Pretty short trip. And that's going to be extra gold on the board. So many things going poorly for GGL. You don't even know where to start. How do you even begin to crawl your way back into this? Mid lane control completely gone. Top lane still in a spot where he's completely dominating the matchup. Tahm Kench is now getting in a position where he's quite tanky, quite hard to take down, and Volibear is also just completely running the map as he's once again caught Fioriana, this time in the side lane. Big A is just being targeted. I don't know if there's some kind of animosity between the two, but it sure does feel that way. Hawksbill is definitely not letting him breathe. And I'm sure, I don't know if Five Freaks, like any of the team members, are watching this game, but I think they will be very happy with the result of this. I mean, any kind of GGL loss is helping their chances of getting into the playoffs. So, you could say in a way Astral Infection are doing them a favor. But, yeah, I think you still have to uphold your own end of the bargain. You have to continue to rack up wins somewhere.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Of course, this game is not over yet, but it feels like GGL just needs so much more time to even think about contending in these team fights. Fortunately, they have secured the first dragon of the game. Or was it? Either way, they secured one of the dragons. So that does give them some time before Dragon Soul comes into play. It's mostly the Baron that we'll have to be worrying about. But on that front, the damage that Astral Infection is able to do to the Baron is not that high either. It's a pretty slow Baron take. So Astral Infection would probably much rather just look for a fight before they decide to go for a Baron. And they are very much in a position to try and force. Hawksbill is just charging in, and his team is right behind him. Can they get the first pick of the fight? Fonzie onto the backline, drawing in a lot of attention, but the GGL backline is completely isolated from the fight, as Wally is right in the thick of things, all out onto Oswald, but Empowered W is actually going to whiff. The shockwave is pretty good, but it does not really matter, as the front line of Astral Infection is simply too tanky for GGL to deal with. It's a triple kill for Aquatic Scourge, also known as Hawksbill, and it's an ace for Astral Infection. They just went in and finished the job. GGL could not possibly hope to contend with the raw power that Astral Infection had at this point in time. It's a classic wallet diff, as Astral Infection perhaps hoped for the game end right here, but the death timers are a little bit too short to make that happen. But yeah, they will be very happy with a big teamfight win here. Just look at Hawksbill's items. Look at Ari's items. Cassante probably has a Thornmail in base. Yep. There it is. The bad news just keeps piling in for GGL. And now, Astral Infection, they have all the mid lane control in the world. They can just easily start this Baron. And if GGL decide to contest, they are looking at a pretty difficult fight. So I don't know if they even want to do that. And Toxic Coffee is not interested in the Baron steal by the looks of things. GGL just accept that they are way too far behind to try and contest, although now, actually, they are looking for a fight. Westy engages in, but no shockwave to be found. GGL are just going to lose one member after another as Aphelios gets charmed and killed in quick succession. Big A now charmed by Spore. Those charms just keep landing, and GGL are losing pretty much everyone as Astral Infection is rolling into their base. It is going to be a very quick win for AST. 23 minutes on the clock. They are unrelenting in their pursuit to victory. Fonzie, not even... Okay, there goes the Senna. He gets one kill, but it will not mean a thing. Westy is interrupting Astral Infection, but that interruption is meaningless. Oswald gets the shutdown, but he's watching his Nexus get destroyed, so... Yeah. What a win from Astral Infection. 27-4 on the scoreboard.